Well, good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. Today is August the 13th. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. I'm looking forward to doing your August the 13th just for today in a meditation with you. We share that screen. Here we go. Difficult people. By giving unconditional love, we become more loving, and by sharing spiritual growth, we become more spiritual. Basic text, page 103. Most of us have one or two exceptionally difficult people in our lives. How do we deal with such a person in our recovery? First, we take our own inventory. Have we wronged this person? Has some action or attitude of ours served as an invitation for the kind of treatment they have given us? If so, we will want to clear the air, admit we have been wrong, and ask our higher power to remove whatever defects may prevent us from being helpful and constructive. Next, as people seeking to live spiritually oriented lives, we approach the problem from the other person's point of view. They may be faced with any number of challenges we either fail to consider or know nothing about, challenges that cause them to be unpleasant. As it said, we seek in recovery to forgive rather than be forgiven, to understand rather than be understood. Finally, it is within our power, if it is within our power, we seek ways to help others overcome their challenges without injuring their dignity. We pray for their well-being and spiritual growth and for the ability to offer them the unconditional love that has meant so much to us in our recovery. We cannot change the difficult people in our lives, nor can we please everyone. But by applying the spiritual principles we've learned in NA, we can learn to love them. Just for today, higher power, help me serve other people, not demand that they serve me. That's a beautiful meditation. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the wee version of the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity, the wee version, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Difficult people. You know, we all have difficult people, right? Oh, we just being honest, we all have difficult people. We already know that we can be difficult ourselves. We can be very difficult. But hopefully in the process of recovery, we are becoming less difficult. And when someone is reading this meditation today, they don't have us in mind. But I'm sure we all can think of some people that we've dealt with for a long time. And we always seem to have to pray before we interact with them. We have to get our mind right. Sometimes we have to have a conversation with someone that knows the situation, that's relatively close to the situation, or understands what we go through when we're challenged to deal with this person, just so that we can get our focus right. Because there's a tendency when you have to always flex a muscle in response to something, then you develop muscle memory. So I was watching this dog trainer, and this dog apparently was being beaten by its owner. And the dog trainer, he noticed that the dog was very timid to do anything. And just as he would raise his hand up to go and pet the dog would shrink back in fear of being hit. So every time the dog saw someone's hand lift up above his nose, it thought it was going to be strike, right? And so the dog trainer said that he had to teach this dog that love could be at the other end of that hand being raised. So he put some dog treats in one hand, and then he would raise his hand up intentionally, like he was going to hit the dog, but then pat it gently and then give the dog a treat. And he did this repetitively so that the dog would learn a different reaction. And that's how it is with us. Sometimes there's people that we interact with that they have taught us how to deal with them. They have taught us that they're difficult, they're judgmental, they're unkind, they're unloving, they lie and they cheat. And so every time we interact with them, we're expecting for them to be difficult. And we put our guards up almost immediately. And that's what this is talking about, is how do we change how we deal with people, right? Because there's a difference in dealing with difficult people and you have no recovery and dealing with difficult people and you have recovery. So what's the difference for you? How are you different spiritually in how you interact with difficult people? One thing that I can think of is that this saying here that we've learned in recovery that we need to forgive rather than be forgiven and understand rather than be understood. That's a part of that St. Francis prayer that's used quite often in the other fellowship. I think it's even quoted in their big book. And I believe that that prayer is a very powerful prayer. If you ever get time to pull up, if you want to develop mm, like a little notebook of prayers that you enjoy, that would be one prayer. It's called the St. Francis prayer. And it's just saying that sometimes the things that we're seeking are the very things that we should actually be given. So today in recovery, when we're dealing with difficult people, we can extend. Remember, yesterday we were talking about grace. We can extend these people grace. We can extend them love and kindness and grace in a spirit of recovery because we don't actually know. Maybe you know why a person is so difficult, but most of the time we don't actually know, why a person is so complicated to deal with. And sometimes if we teach them through extending love to them and grace to them, teach them that there is this opportunity for recovery. There is this opportunity for restoration of relationships, of kindness in people. Maybe they'll start to analyze how they're behaving and how their actions are probably causing people to react in a negative way. And so I hope today that you will let your God help you to serve other people and not demand that other people serve you. When we talk about self-sufficiency being a lie, being fully self-supporting is not, though, right? It's a spiritual concept that we believe in. And so today, as you move forward, start trying to figure out where you can add more of your energy to other people in a positive way and how you can be less demanding for your own personal needs that you have, right? Um, Emotionally speaking, though, I want to talk about that. Emotionally speaking, you should always try to remain clean emotionally. So if interacting with a person consistently is bringing you emotional harm, then that's a relationship you need to reanalyze. Exactly how much do you need to really interact, right? Is your survival dependent on this person in any kind of way? Are they bringing anything to your table that you cannot bring to your table by yourself? Because if you're interacting with a person that is consistently causing you emotional, mental, spiritual harm, you need to question the nature of that relationship. More than likely, you need to let it go. Okay? So, those are two things I want you to analyze today. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I've enjoyed talking to you, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.